What if your greatest power is, to your world, its deepest curse? What if the only person destined to break your silence is the one fated to end your life? In a kingdom built on a lie whispered by the gods, the servant Ilara, born without a voice, is the final sacrifice. But her silence hides a force older than any crown. And when Prince Kai, the executioner, meets her gaze, he hears a voice in his mind, a voice that ignites a war the heavens tried to bury. This is a story of suppressed power, divine injustice, and a soul connection that transcends the need for words. If you're ready to feel every heartbeat, every betrayal, every impossible kiss, hit subscribe and let the legend begin. The sacrificial stone circle is drenched in rain. Ilara kneels. Prince K holds the heavy ceremonial sword over her head. The air smells of wet stone and cheap incense. He sees cold resignation in her posture. It is only duty, Kai. A clean cut. The end of a weakness, he thinks, repeating the mantra High Priest Cyrus had drilled into him. The metallic clang of the descending sword is deafening. To the crowd, it is the sound of devotion. To Kai, it is imminent failure. The instant the blade should have met skin, a cold invasion sweeps his mind. Ilara's voice, clear, urgent, unaccented. You cannot kill me. The intensity is a sharp, physical pain. Kai deflects the sword at the last second, striking the stone. The crowd's roar transforms into stunned silence. He grips Ilara's arm, her skin icy, and drags her toward the dungeons. Interrogation! She blasphemed. Cyrus, prepare the chamber of purification, he shouts, the lie dry on his tongue. He feels her trembling under his grip, and in his mind, the voice whispers, Thank you, but I would have preferred the ending. In the dark, damp cell, Kai presses his forehead against hers, desperate to understand. He feels the cold, clear pulse, the voice's epicenter. He whispers, Who are you? Her mental reply is not a voice, but an image projected onto his mind. The arcane symbol of a sealed mouth. The voice is not hers. It is something trapped inside her. Kai steps away, wiping blood from his nose. A result of the first telepathic shock. The cell air is thick with mold and despair. He tries to remain calm. What is that symbol? Speak, he shouts, forgetting she cannot. Ilara shrinks against the wall, the torchlight revealing tiny cracks in the projected symbol. It is the seal of silence, she projects, the mental voice laced with sorrow. The crown did not curse me. It sealed me. Ilara projects a swift vision. Centuries ago, the kingdom's founder feared the power of sound and shadow magic. He captured the source, the goddess Lyra, and sealed her power within the bloodline of those born voiceless. The annual sacrifice was to reinforce the seal. And if this seal breaks? Kai projects, afraid. Viridia, she replies, the sunken city of the ancients. It will awaken. Outside the cell, High Priest Cyrus, in his silk robes and false smile, walks to the king. He smells strongly of consecrated oil. My prince has failed his faith. The servant must be purified by me to hold back the god's wrath. There is no time. Cyrus felt the raw power bleeding from the seal. It wasn't faith. It was ambition. He knows Ilara is the key to ancient magic. Kai turns to Ilara, the tattered map from his deceased mother flashing in his mind. The seal symbol was drawn on it. He clenches his fist. My mother. She sought this truth. She wasn't mad. Ilara projects a subtle, warm image of a smile. You are more like her than you realize. The pressure in Ilara's mind intensifies, the seal cracking under the strain of their connection. She clutches Kai's arm, her nails digging in. The metallic scent of blood begins to fill the air as Kai feels a hot trickle run from his ear. Ilara's pain is physically manifesting in him. It's not just telepathy, Kai projects in panic. It's a scream. You are screaming, Ilara. Stop. Ilara struggles, projecting a chaotic series of images. The sound of ancient war drums, an ocean of shadows consuming the light, and the vision of the founding king, centuries ago, forcing the seal onto a weeping woman. The past is exploding into the present. She projects one single word, full of terror. Release. Kai holds her tight, forcing his forehead against hers, trying to stabilize the channel. Control, he mentally pleads. You need control, or we'll destroy this place before we understand it. The pain recedes, replaced by overwhelming exhaustion. I am not the vessel they expected, Ilara projects, her mental voice faint. I am the hammer they sealed away, but I am a blind tool. She reveals that she must touch the site of the original betrayal, the fissure of the fallen goddess, to truly master the power. The cell door rattles as guards arrive. Cyrus has run out of patience. Bring the servant. The ritual continues under my authority. The sound of the key in the lock is the sound of time running out. Kai rips a tile from the cell wall, revealing the dry sound of ceramic breaking, the smell of ancient dust, and the rough touch of exposed brick. They enter a maintenance tunnel leading to the royal archives, vaguely guided by Kai's mental map. As they crawl, Kai reveals more about his mother. She used to tell me that the stories we cannot tell are the ones we most need to hear. She spoke of the voice of the underworld. A flashback shows a young Kai holding his mother's hand, looking at a strange birthmark on her shoulder, similar to Ilara's symbol, but pale. Was she also a sealed silent? Ilara projects. I don't know. But she wasn't afraid of you. They reach the archives hall, a maze of towering shelves that smell of parchment and candle wax. The light is dim and yellow. They are intercepted by Captain Varys, Cyrus's personal guard, a tall, fanatical-eyed man with a nasty scar across his cheek. Varys blocks the path. Prince, you have profaned the faith. Surrender the creature. Cyrus has corrupted you, Kai hisses. Varys shakes his head, his voice strained. Faith saves us from weakness. I saw what silence does. He is not talking about Ilara, but his own history. Ilara, sensing Varys's conviction, concentrates. She uses her shadow power for the first time in a controlled way, creating rapid illusions. The shelves seem to sway. The shadows of the books stretch into grasping tendrils, and the sound of Varys's own heartbeat pounds in his ears. They slip past him in the confusion. The aqueduct tunnels are cold, dark, and filthy water laps at their ankles. The air smells of wet stone and rusting metal. Kai is exhausted, and a graze on his arm from scraping the wall is bleeding. He slips. They stop in a small chamber. Kai leans against the wall, panting. We need to stop, he projects, worn out. Ilara approaches, placing her hand gently over his wound. She projects not a magical cure, but a wave of intense, focused mental tranquility, an emotional dressing that eases his pain. Kai closes his eyes, feeling the immediate relief. Lyra's power is not just destruction, Ilara projects. It is balance, and I feel your imbalance. She projects a complex mental map of tunnels, showing the way. She points to a strange hole, disguised by the water. The fissure. It is here. Suddenly Ilara flinches. Her mental voice is full of dread. They are after my mother. Cyrus has found Ilara's single weakness, and is using her mother as bait. Kai grips his sword. We have to go, but not to the surface. We have to go down. There you will find the strength to fight. They descend into the fissure of the fallen goddess. The air is thick, humid, and carries the faint metallic scent of ozone and living soil. The atmosphere is heavy with ancient magic. Everywhere flora glows with hues of sapphire and emerald. The ground beneath their feet is no longer stone, but soft, packed earth, humming with residual power. The intensity of the magic rapidly destabilizes Ilara's seal. She stops, clutching her head. It's too much. The power is singing to me, she projects, the mental voice oscillating between clarity and static. Kai pulls her behind a glowing root system. He projects reassurance. Breathe. Let the ground hold you. You came here for control. Take it. Ilara projects a vision of the goddess Lyra. Lyra was not a warrior, but a keeper of resonance, a being who ruled through collective emotion and sound magic. The founding king, threatened by her influence, betrayed her. He sealed her essence, turning her benign power into the dangerous, destructive force Ilara now carries. The vision fades. Ilara looks up at Kai, projecting an image of fierce determination. I am Lyra's final scream. I will not be silenced again. But the power is drawing attention. A strange, almost crystalline tremor runs through the cavern floor. They are not alone. Cyrus stands before the king, his movements precise, like a serpent coiling. He smells of expensive perfume and deceit. He speaks with calculated calm. Your Majesty, the prince's actions are an act of war against the divine order. The creature is not merely a sacrifice. She is the ignition point for the Viridia uprising. Cyrus reveals his true motivation. He is descended from the priests who helped the founder seal Lyra. His family's power depends on keeping the city ignorant and the magic contained. They call it faith, he thinks bitterly. I call it stability. If the crown falls, my house falls faster. Cyrus orders the immediate execution of Ilara's mother as a means to force Ilara to return. He tasks Captain Varus with the deed, knowing Varus's deep-seated devotion will override his slight doubts. Cyrus plants a false memory in the king's mind, making him believe Kai has committed treason, securing the decree for his son's death. Cyrus looks out the stained glass window at the darkened city. He laughs, a soft, dry sound. The girl's silence must pay for the world's order. He doesn't realize Varus saw the genuine look of glee in his eyes, a crack in the armor of piety. Varus is in the lower city. He holds a squad of guards at bay, unable to give the order to storm Ilara's childhood shack. The large scar on his cheek feels like a brand. His sister, a silent-born, was sacrificed 10 years prior. He feels the crushing weight of Cyrus's unnatural glee. He remembers his sister's quiet terror. The faith should give peace, not pleasure in blood, he murmurs to himself. He finds a tattered, hidden journal near Ilara's shack, the diary of his sister's guard. The diary reveals that the children weren't cursed, but channels. They died not to appease the gods, but to silence the magic. Varus is broken. He decides to protect Ilara's mother and seek justice for his sister. He orders his men to abandon the post, claiming the target has fled, setting him against Cyrus. Varus knows Ilara and Kai went into the aqueducts. He sends a single secret signal to a trusted network of low-ranking guards, a forgotten symbol of the old path. He is choosing rebellion. I served the god of the throne, he thinks, putting the diary in his pocket. Now I serve the truth. Ilara and Kai reach the center of the fissure, a crystalline pool where the light pulses rhythmically. Ilara's seal is now a series of visible cracks radiating across her forehead. The pain of the seal's final moments mixes with the agony of her mother's execution. It's done, Ilara projects, a torrent of grief and white-hot fury. My mother is gone. Their greed, their fear, it took her. The pain is a trigger. The final piece of the seal shatters with a sound that exists both in their minds and in the physical world, like a sonic boom trapped in a bell jar. Ilara stands, eyes blazing with an inner light. Her mental voice is now multi-layered, ringing with the resonance of Lyra and the fierce conviction of Ilara. She doesn't speak, but projects a sound wave that pushes back the shadows. She touches Kai's hand, and his mind is flooded with pure, untainted knowledge, the history of the city, the true power of the silent, the weakness of the crown. Kai is no longer a prince. He is an initiate. We must return, Ilara projects. The power is balanced now. But Cyrus must be broken, or the city will fall to chaos. They climb out of the fissure, now armed with the truth and unstoppable power. Kai raises his sword, ready for a fight. Varus does something unexpected. He throws the tattered guard's diary at Kai's feet. Read it, Prince. Your sacrifice was a lie. Your father's crown is built on silence, not divinity. Kai snatches the diary and scans the entry about channels instead of curses. The betrayal is confirmed. Varus meets his gaze. My sister died for his stability, not for your gods. I am here for justice, not treason. Ilara steps forward, projecting a quick mental image to Varus, the moment Cyrus reveled in her mother's execution. Varus recoils in raw grief. The alliance is sealed. Varus points toward the throne room. Cyrus is there. He has convinced the king you are mad. The full power of the crown is arrayed against you. Kai nods, putting the sword away. We won't fight the men. We fight the lie. Kai, Ilara, and Varus burst into the opulent throne room. The room is a stark contrast to the fissure-all cold marble and gilded hypocrisy. Cyrus stands beside the king, radiating false piety. The court is assembled, a sea of silks and shock. Kai strides forward, throwing the bloody guard's diary onto the throne steps. Father, This high priest is a traitor. The Silent-born were never cursed. They were channels. Cyrus sneers. Treason. The creature has poisoned the prince's mind. Look at her. Without the voice of God, her presence alone weakens the crown. Alara steps into the center of the room. She releases a controlled, overwhelming mental projection to everyone present. The truth floods their minds. The betrayal of goddess Lyra, the sealing, the countless false sacrifices, and the founder's greed. The room plunges into a stunned silence. The king, exposed to the truth, clutches his head, utterly broken. Cyrus, seeing his power crumble, pulls a concealed, consecrated dagger and lunges at Alara's forehead. Kai intercepts Cyrus's lunge, their swords clanging. Varus engages the remaining guards loyal to the priest. While Kai holds Cyrus at bay, Alara focuses her power on a massive, ornate statue of the official god. She uses the resonance of Lyra not to destroy, but to reveal. The statue begins to vibrate violently, emitting a high-pitched, painful whine. The statue shatters, exposing a massive contention crystal buried within. This crystal was subtly draining the city's natural magic to maintain the seal and the crown's power. Cyrus abandons the fight and dives for the crystal, desperate to save his lineage's power. As Cyrus touches the crystal, Alara releases a final pure wave of power, cleansing the artifact. The released magic surges back into the world. Cyrus is caught in the wave. The energy doesn't kill him. It silences him completely. Cyrus lies defeated and silent. The court is silent, reverent. The king, defeated but relieved of his generational burden, rises slowly. He removes the crown and places it on the ground. The king abdicates, handing authority to Kai. Kai looks at the crown, then at Alara. He takes her hand. Alara's lips move. The court leans in. She can speak, but she chooses not to. The strength was never in the sound, she projects. Her voice mental, intimate, and profoundly powerful. It was in the shared truth. Kai understands. He pulls her close and kisses her. The moment releases a tangible wave of gentle, restorative magic that washes over the court. The sound of the magic, a gentle, perfect chord. A slow, sweeping shot of the city at night, no longer dark and foreboding, but illuminated by a soft, natural glow. Weeks later, Kai stands on the citadel terrace, Alara beside him. He is dressed in simple robes, the crown nowhere in sight. The city below is thriving, imbued with the returned magic. He narrates about the fate of Varus, who is now the commander of a newly founded guard dedicated to protecting the true balance. The contention crystal is now a source of healing magic. Alara projects a final image onto his mind, not a queen, but a keeper of the fissure, showing a path leading into the newly bright Viridia. They feared the voiceless, Alara projects, a soft echo of Lyra's wisdom. They did not understand that only in silence can you hear the true song of the world. Kai turns to her, his love for her now the foundation of his reign. We did not end a war. We began a dialogue, one spoken not in the hollow halls of power, but in the deepest silence of two connected souls.